Good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. This is Jane Hatch in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I'm doing a remote view. I'm doing it for a targeted individual who's a friend on Facebook. And first of all, I'm going to clear a little bit. And then I'm going to call in all my helping loving and compassionate guidance. And then for all of you, I'm a targeted individual. I have been, I believe, my whole life. I believe that the secret space program was the predecessor to the targeted individual program for many, many, many of us, which means if you were a MyLab abductee, if you were abducted by the military for um, experiments in, well, all of time travel, MK Ultra, mind shattering, trauma based mind control, which the Nazis, at least in the last 2 centuries, started, and then the CIA took over in the 1950s and started their own version of the Nazis' mind-shattering programs on children, and they called it MK Ultra. So I believe if you were an abductort and they want you to never remember what happened to you, because of course what they're doing is beyond immoral and illegal. It's abducting and torturing American children, what children of the Western Bloc. Starting in the 1950s, 150,000 of these children per year. So I believe that is a big part of the targeted individual program. They are trying to continue to shatter your lives in a multitude of ways, including gang stalking, cyber hacking, directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring. You name it, it's like you're living side by side with targeted individuals and you don't even know it's happening to them. If somebody says they're a targeted individual, please believe them. That's the very least you can do. It's just believe them and tell them that you believe them, because this is systemic. So systemic, it's almost like the air we breathe, that most people in the world are targeted. It's just the matter of degree, whether you're just targeted by chemtrails, fluoride and chlorine in your water, GMOs, the jab. You're targeted. You're targeted by big pharma, by the military, by the political system, by the academic system. Yes, I'm also a survivor of family court, and we are absolutely being targeted by the judicial system, the family court, because it's a Freemason system. It's Freemasons running the so-called judicial system, and more they need more children for sex trafficking and blackmail, because basically the whole world is operating on blackmail now on that level, that they need to get children away from loving families. So it's a satanic Freemason system now. And I survived it. My 3 daughters survived it barely. It's 30 years ago, and we're still trying to heal from it. But anyway, I wanted to just briefly, targetedjustice.com is an organization of professionals who are also targeted individuals. It does not matter your socioeconomic status. I will say they do target women more than men. I think 70% of the targets are women, and they love vulnerable women, women that don't have resources, that are ostracized from their family, that don't have money, are very, very vulnerable with children. They love outspoken, smart, spiritual women with children with no financial resources, because they love to torture us. And so I would say women more, and that's generally across the board in our society. If you look at movies and social and songs and TV, it's women mostly that are tortured, often to death, and that's the same in the targeted individual program. But it's rich and poor, professional, working class, you name it, and you're target. If you step out of line, you're targeted, and they love to get targets because they get tons and tons of money since 9/11 and the Patriot Act. They get tons, billions of money for defense. We're part of. They want it for defense because single women and with no resources are they consider the biggest threat. So they get a ton of money when somebody like Bill Haggett, the president of Bath Iron Works, now deceased, thank God, says, yeah, target her. She's a threat. She's a threat. She was writing about the Arleigh Burke destroyers, and she was talking about sexual harassment. So target, so they love it when they get those referrals because there's millions of dollars suddenly transferred to fusion centers and you name it, all the way up from the local street sweeper to your mayor and everybody else in your town. They can all be bought. So anyway, I'm just getting off track a little bit, but targetedjustice.com is an organization that helps targeted individuals, and they are also targeted themselves. So I'm just going to read their definition. I mean, most of you who are watching this, you're probably very, very aware of what a targeted individual is. You're probably a targeted individual yourself. So this is targetedjustice.com. Their site got hacked and taken down recently, so I'm so happy to see that they're back up. So this is targetedjustice.com. There is so much. If you want to know, anything about targeting, gang stalking, key V2 create shielding, all the implants. That's another thing. They put implants in a lot of us to track us, even though they don't really need to do that anymore. They can just use our DNA. But anyway, targeted individuals are victims of government weaponization selected by the deep state, usually FBI. Mine was FBI, DHS, or CIA, to unwillingly participate in an experimental CIA torture program. 75% of the victims do not realize they are targeted. This program was developed under the CIA's MK Ultra project, as I just mentioned, and is designed to break down the individual and neutralize that person using psychological, physical, and emotional stress. The ultimate goal of this program is to control the entire population through intimidation, fear, and threats. Conservatives, political activists such as J6ers, whistleblowers, scientists, and Christians are some of the main targets of this program. However, some people are randomly chosen. Family and spousal relationships are usually destroyed as part of the psychological torture. Targets are victims of lawfare, denied benefits, overbilled for utilities and service, and illegally harassed, stalked, and surveilled. For a full description of the implication, click below. So this is not my focus, but is the academic part and the research part of this. At least not today. There's a lot of it in my book, Royal Blood, Royal Blackmail, that I'm writing. But this is for an academic's understanding of targeted individuals, which we all are, some more than others. It's like they want to take out, just like it's a war tactic. They want to take out the leaders first. It's an age-old war tactic. There's nothing new about this. And they consider whistleblowers, dissident, anybody speaking out like myself as the first line of that they got to take out first. So anyway, I'm going to close this down because I need to get in a completely different state of mind. Which is my psychic and psychic and remote view is a little bit different. But I definitely have to be utilizing a different part of my brain than I would be for research. So hopefully I haven't gone too, I'm gonna just start over. Okay, so the yeah, I'm gonna ask, she had a two-part question. One was about her personal um experience as a TI and secret space program, and also when will this program end? When will it be totally exposed? I mean, we all know it's exposed. It's all over the internet. Every other person, every 10th person, you see on the street is probably being secretly targeted. We know, but to the general public, and when is this going to stop? She wants to, that was a general question. So I'm putting it out into here now to my guides. When, and it's a very general question because we are all targeted. This is a prison planet and we're all targeted in one way or another. Even the perpetrators are prisoners, because if you're a high level perpetrator, Freemason, whatever, I think probably the Pope, the Vatican is at the very top of this ugly pyramid. You've got people above you. You've got the Dracos and ETs. They're going to kill you if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So all the way down the top to the bottom, we're all like prisoners of this war slave system on planet Earth. So it's like, I guess I should really focus in, like, I guess you could say the Dracos are at the very top, the Draco reptilians, but that's not, would not be someone the average person would understand or accept. And also, like, targeted individual program, they don't even like you talking about that stuff because we already sound crazy enough. But hey, you've got to name it. You've got to name it to get rid of it. You got to call it what it is. It's a satanic system. Again, I keep getting into my right brain. When is the targeted individual program going to be exposed? Let's say of people like myself and people on Facebook, people, all the secret space program people, all the whistleblowers, the dissidents, Julian Assange was a targeted individual, and he's definitely gone quiet. All I'm seeing right now is somebody, it looks like, okay, I see the United States, the whole United States. I see upper left, not quite Portland, not quite coastal. So it's like one state over. I don't even know what that is. I'm so bad. Dakotas, no, I don't know. Let's just say it's one state over from California and Oregon. So I'm not sure what that state is. Long state. I just see one person, one male. Almost looks like a movie scene, that those kind of library lights, highlighting a bunch of papers. He's shuffling through all these papers. Just, again, some of these things I see, they're meaningless when I first see them. So is this right now? Yes, right now. So this is a remote view. Remote view is usually happening right now. Unless I want to know something from the past or the future. I don't know who this person is. Again, it looks like a movie, like a movie scene. Like a 1950s movie scene with the old wooden desk, and oak desk, the old oak desk, and somebody at work late at night, like shuffling through papers. I don't know why. Like, am I supposed to know this person? I'd say male, maybe 30, white, Caucasian. It's like he's kind of reminds me of that Aaron Schwartz, who was a targeted individual, was killed. Um, that kind of look. So since I just thought of Aaron, I wonder if this is his. And I'm taking my white rose flower essence because it puts me the highest spiritual perspective. And incidentally, I make my own flower essence line. I don't think you can see it very well. I should do another show just on them. But they're electrical, they affect your electrical system, and we are an electrical system. And it always brings you to a higher place. And I do have these available. I make them myself. It's just water, the flower itself, and it's put, distilled pure water. I put a white rose in this case in a cup of distilled or spring water, and I put it in the sun for 4 hours, and then I take the flower out and strain it, and then I preserve it with brandy, and that water preserves the electrical vibration of that white rose. So you're putting into your electrical field the medicine power of the flower, whatever. And I have a whole list of flowers, and I channeled their meaning. They spoke to me, and I channeled their vibration and what they mean. And so I do have those available. I'll put those below. Okay, I see veins of light going across the top of the country from this state, like by the Great Lakes, and then another stream of light going down, like a not a stream of light, but like a not a tributary. It's not water, it's just like information going out very specifically. It looks like it's stopping in the like Great Lakes, Chicago, and then information going down, maybe LA, but I think a little bit east of LA. So that would be Arizona, Phoenix. So there's information going out from this center, which I'm showing very intense work, intense exposure. Someone, I don't think they're a political figure, I think they're a regular person, is working feverishly. Now, why I would see one person, I don't understand, unless they're some very advanced ET or someone with superpowers to get this. So I'm seeing information is being disseminated from him to Chicago area, Phoenix area. I need more information. When and how will the targeted individual program and the targeted program that affects people like me, and I think there's 300, 400,000 individuals in this country at least being targeted with directed energy weapons from the US military. We're kind of sold to these by the military or to the military for weapons testing. Okay, volcanic energy right above me, above New Mexico, right above me, huge volcanic energy. Volcanic explosion. I'm not sure if this is a metaphor or it's really going to happen, or how it's related. How is this related? How is this related to these, the dissemination of information to Chicago and Phoenix and this? It does seem to be related. The person going through all this paperwork seems to have been waiting for this, or it will be waiting for this. I would, if this, I see this right above me. So, and not Colorado, but directly above, I see a volcanic explosion. That there's a volcanic explosion coming. Glad I'm getting out of here. Well, I hope I am. And this is going to have an effect on the program, maybe because of underground bases in that area, or Shriver's Air Force Base. I mean, they're so protected. It's, it's unbelievable. How deep down they are in the ground and how much protection they have. So, you can almost drop a nuclear bomb on top of these places, some of these military places, and they wouldn't be very affected. So there's got to be something like, how is this going to affect? There's something, okay, so there's something about this triangle. There's a triangle, there's a pyramid shape from this man to Chicago, down, crossing me, down to Phoenix, back up. There's something going on right in this whole area that will be, it's inside that there is something off the coast a bit, and again down from Canada a bit, and then across. So this is so strange. Okay, it's all being colored in and then moved up, and there's a pyramid, pyramids exposed, technology exposed, ET intervention, ET. Okay, so it's going to come through ET because nobody on this planet's going to can do it. It's going to come from ancient knowledge in this area, combined with ET intervention to, like, okay, so this is what you can do. You need to separate yourself from the belief you're a slave. Okay, there is free will on this planet, but there isn't free will on this planet because of mind control and MK Ultra. So you have to find your soul, your center, and say, I am free. I am free. I no longer submit to the slavery, because we are a free will planet. They need your approval. And if you're getting targeted on some level, they've made you believe you're guilty, you're awful, whether you were Genghis Khan in another life or something you did when you were under mind control. It's the guilt, the guilt and the shame, where it's like, okay, just beat me, just go ahead, because I deserve it. That whether you consciously acknowledge that or not, it is in your psyche, and you need to forgive yourself for anything perceived or real or imagined or actual that you feel like you've done, because it opens your energy field to punishment. If you feel you're guilty, you're going to be open to punishment, and punishment through directed energy weapons. So one reason we have not had intervention and help from other planets is because we are under mind control. We're brainwashed. So even if they came to save us, there'd be part of us who going, no, 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 I deserve this. I deserve this. So we need to release ourselves first. We have to release ourselves first. You are pure love. If you were created by God, you are pure love, and you are forgiven. If you're a targeted individual, or you're MK Ultra, or you're SSP, you're forgiven because you've done things under mind control. All of us. So that's where it all has to begin, is with us. So there is something in the works where there's going to be a revelation of technology and an unearthing of ancient in the West of America. It looks like a pyramid information, upheaval, that is going to affect the targeted population, who many believe are the Merovingian bloodline. In other words, the true healers, the psychics, the telepaths, the true aristocracy is being pummeled by the fake aristocracy and the military. They're just using us. But first you have to forgive yourself and raise your vibration to the point you're detaching from that vibration of slavery and enslavement and punishment and guilt. And then you're going to be in the frequency to receive the new technology and the ET help. And whether it's, for me, it's Pleiadian, that are now getting closer and closer to me. As I raise my vibration, they will meet me, because they can't help me if I believe I deserve to be punished. Okay, I don't go around saying I should be punished by directed energy weapons, but I have had, and they do this to us purposely, a feeling of shame and guilt that I shouldn't have even been born. I'm such a horrible person. Targeted individual SSP have that. So, and that was imposed upon us because they know how beautiful and amazing and creative, and we have the God DNA, and they're just so jealous of us. But they've made us believe we're less than. So the first thing, if you're targeted, you need to do is heal. And to me, it's like really simple. You are made in the image and likeness of Source. To me, that is pure love. So you are pure love. Nothing can touch that, especially if you're a targeted individual. Like I can see it in your eyes. If you're as SSP, I can see it in your eyes. They're the most beautiful people in the world. They're the most kind, sensitive, and they're being, I see it all day on Facebook. It's very hard to watch. It's very hard to continually react. So the best I can do is things like this, to get to more than one people, because they're torturing people to death. Humans, pets, anything that's alive near you, they're going to, so I don't think this is just woo-woo, that you need to kind of vibrate out of it. It's only a piece of it, but it's the very beginning, because they, on some level, to avoid karma, avoid going to hell, they need your permission. Stop giving them your permission to torture you. And I know you're not consciously thinking of it, but it's subconscious. So work with God, whatever your higher self, there's some good ETs that can help you understand. For shamans, it's power animals and spirits of trees and flowers and mountains and streams, that Mother Earth is continually pouring out love through all of her beings on Earth, and her, what's left. We've got to raise our vibration to save her from the chemtrails and Monsanto, and that's another whole video, but I think I've said it. So I think the answer is it's a conscious choice to stop being enslaved mentally, spiritually, and physically. And you raise to that, you'll be met halfway. And that there is actual physical, structural, geological changes that are going to take place. And I see it over here. In another video I did, I saw very clearly there was going to be ET invasion of German ships on the East Coast of America. This was like a dream prophecy a few months ago. I don't know what they were going to do when they were here, but I didn't have they looked very ominous. They were huge German ships. That doesn't necessarily mean they're here with bad intention, but they did seem like old German spaceships. So whatever way you look at it, it's going to be cataclysmic. Where you are and where you end up will be a lot with who you are in your consciousness. Where you be placed, where you be, and the level of your freedom will be based upon your consciousness. A lot to do with pyramids, something to do with pyramids in this triangle area, Arizona, up. Oh no, I really need to know okay, to the east, one state of Seattle, over to Chicago, down to Arizona. In that area, big happenings soon related to us. So if you are interested in my flower essences, I have white rose, I think I have red rose, pink rose, yellow rose, and they all have different vibrational frequencies. They're $15 plus shipping. I'll put it below. I am doing long distance shamanic healing, which I often combine with Reiki and clearing. And I'll put that information below too. I've had a very hard time receiving money. A very patient client in Canada has helped me try to receive his money. They're shutting down a lot of the access, but I think I figured out a few avenues to receive. So I think I got that cleared up. So very excited for an upcoming interview with Arkeem Ra, another secret space program survivor who's taken a very strong position to advocate for humanity and not buy into any cult mentality right now, which is kind of making him unpopular, which I'll get into. But I think he has a really important role to play for humanity upcoming, because he's not going far left and he's not going far right. He's in the middle for humanity, I think. So anyway, lots of love to everybody. I hope this is helpful. I hope this answers some questions. Thank you.